morning, everybody. Today I want to talk about homesickness. Actually, I'm going to talk about your experience of homesickness in Australia. I chose this topic because I thought that maybe all of us have had experienced homesickness in Australia, so I think that the result could be interesting. And although I just have 25% who responds to my questionnaire, and I just did a little bit of research about it, it helped me to improve my knowledge about homesickness, and I hope that it will be interesting for you as well. Okay, first of all, I will introduce my topic, and then we will see and discuss the result of my survey together. And after that, after a short conclusion, I will be happy to answer your question about this. Definition of homesickness. Is anybody interested to help me to define homesickness?
Missing your home country?
Yes?
Missing your family?
Okay, yeah, that's correct. Actually, homesickness is a emotional state of mind in which sufferer have a strong feeling of going back to the country and longing because of separation from home country or home environment. And it has different kinds of symptoms, emotional, behavioral, and physical. Can you give me a hand to describe them as well?
Depression. Sitting somewhere alone and thinking about what is going on.
Yes, you are right. We all know what its emotional symptoms are. Yearning to go back home is one of them. Sadness, anxiousness, and feeling loneliness is another one. But let's need to explain the behavioral symptoms with an example. Sometimes you don't want to socialize or have a communication with your neighbors in Australia, and you say that they are not friendly. But sometimes it's the truth, but sometimes the problem is in your mind, because of homesickness you lose your confidence, and you don't have motivation to start a friendship, and you prefer to live in isolation. So you should work on your thought then, and you can change your neighbors. Sometimes they are really friendly. And physical symptoms can be headache, nausea, vomiting, and muscular cramps sometimes. And they are nothing, just the reaction of your body to the stress. And let's have a look to the results. I asked you about your about how long have you been here in Australia, and if you feel homesick now. And this graph shows the result of these two questions. You can see that people who lived here less than 1 year, 100% of them are still homesick. But after spending 1 or 3 years in Australia and 3 or 6 years here, these percentages are reduced. And fortunately, we don't have any complaint about homesickness after 6 years. So it shows that time is healing. Companionship and homesickness. I also ask you about with whom did you come to Australia? Alone, with your family, or with a marriage? And I could guess that the result is similar that I guessed, that people who came with the family have less problem than people who came alone in Australia. But it is interesting that people who came with a marriage, 100% of them still homesick. It is interesting. It shows that maybe a spouse can't replace your family. homesickness symptoms. Another question was about, it was a ranking question, and I asked you to give number 1, 2, or 3 to the homesickness symptoms that you have experienced more. And this graph is a female's response, and that one is a male's response. And comparison between two graphs shows that both females and males have experienced the emotional symptoms more than the other symptoms. But there's a difference between their second choice. Here you can see that female experience behavioral symptoms than physicals, while male complain more about physical symptoms. And in this slide, coping strategy, you can see the difference between females and male coping strategy for homesickness. You can see that 70% of male prefer attending English classes, and 13% of them said that getting a job are very helpful to cope with homesickness, while 36% of females said that they prefer to keep in touch with their family and it's better for them. And after that, they choose English classes, job, local community, and other strategies. To sum up, migration always comes with a risk of homesickness, but you can solve this problem by obtaining enough knowledge about this. You should know that this is real and you will face it, and also it has different kinds of symptoms, so you should recognize its symptoms as well. And you should find your own strategy to cope with it. And that's it. Thank you for listening, not for this, I don't know how many minutes, for these 2 years. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Sherry. Sherry, have you had homesickness symptoms yourself?
It seems that I have. Yeah. Yes, I do. I had some emotional symptoms at the beginning when I came here, but not anymore. But about behavioral symptoms, the example that I gave to you, it's my example. Sometimes I can't, I'm shy to talk outside with other people. In English, yeah, of course. Yes. Maybe because I'm a talkative person in my language, so I can't speak English well, so it's hard for me to.
Did you recognize those symptoms as homesickness?
No, I didn't know.
What made you think that they were different, or?
I thought that maybe I'm shy, or maybe just a lack of self-confidence. But now I know that they can be the symptoms of homesickness.
And like, what would you suggest if for somebody who was coming from another country, what would you suggest that they should be careful about? What should they watch out for?
They should try not to be isolate themselves. They should attend a class or find a job that are very useful, and also making friends is very helpful as well.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Sherry. Thanks. That was very good.